Hello everyone, welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News. Today we're taking a close look at the growing speculation surrounding the Iraqi dinar and the possibility of future exchange rate developments. Many viewers are asking whether the coming months could bring meaningful changes to Iraq's currency policy, banking reforms, and the relationship between the official's exchange rate and the parallel market. In this update, we will examine the economic signals being discussed, explain what is officially known, and remind viewers why it is important to separate rumors from confirmed policy decisions. The Iraqi dinar remains one of the most closely watched currencies among investors and followers of Middle East economic news. Iraq's economy is heavily connected to oil revenues, public spending, foreign reserves, and the broader stability of its financial system. Because of that, any discussion about the dinar's future value naturally attracts strong interest. However, it is essential to understand that currency values are influenced by many factors, including central bank policy, inflation, reserves, trade balances, political stability, and confidence in the banking sector. Over the past several years, the Central Bank of Iraq has focused on maintaining exchange rate stability while also modernizing the country's financial system. Measures such as expanding electronic payments, strengthening banking compliance, improving anti-money laundering procedures, and monitoring foreign currency sales are often discussed as signs of broader reform. Supporters of the dinar believe these reforms could improve confidence in the Iraqi economy over time. Critics and cautious analysts, however, note that reforms do not automatically translate into a sudden or dramatic change in the exchange rate. One of the major topics in the dinar community is the difference between the official exchange rate and the parallel market rate. The parallel market, sometimes called the black market, reflects currency trading that occurs outside the official banking channels. This gap can be influenced by demand for US dollars, import financing, capital controls, sanctions concerns, and confidence in official banking procedures. When authorities work to narrow this gap, it can be viewed as an effort to strengthen the formal financial system and reduce pressure on the currency market. Many commentators speculate that if Iraq continues improving its banking system and foreign exchange management, the official exchange rate could become more stable and credible. But stability is not the same as a guaranteed appreciation. A central bank may choose to maintain a managed exchange rate regime, make gradual adjustments, or prioritize price stability and reserve protection over a sharp change in currency value. For that reason, any prediction of a specific future exchange rate should be treated as speculation, unless it comes from an official announcement by the Central Bank of Iraq. Another important factor is Iraq's foreign exchange reserves. Strong reserves can help a central bank defend its exchange rate policy, finance imports, and maintain confidence in the national currency. Iraq's oil revenues have historically played a major role in building reserves, but reserves can also be affected by government spending, global oil prices, and external economic pressures. Analysts often watch reserve levels because they provide insight into the country's ability to manage currency stability during periods of market stress. Banking reform is another area receiving attention. Iraq has been working to modernize payment systems, encourage electronic transactions, and improve compliance with international banking standards. These reforms can make the financial system more transparent and reduce reliance on cash transactions. A stronger banking system may also support investment, trade, and economic growth over time. However, these are long-term structural improvements, and they should not be interpreted as proof that a major exchange rate change is imminent. Inflation is also a key consideration. If inflation rises too quickly, the purchasing power of the currency can weaken. Central banks often aim to control inflation through monetary policy, exchange rate management, and coordination with fiscal policy. In Iraq's case, controlling inflation while maintaining currency stability is an important balancing act. A stronger currency can help reduce import costs, but it can also create challenges for government revenue and economic competitiveness if the adjustment is too abrupt. Oil prices remain a major driver of Iraq's economic outlook. Because Iraq is a significant oil exporter, higher oil prices can improve government revenue, strengthen reserves, and support public spending. Lower oil prices, on the other hand, can put pressure on the budget and reduce the resources available for economic reforms. This connection between oil revenue and currency stability means that global energy markets continue to play an important role in discussions about the dinar's future. Political stability is another factor that investors watch closely. Government formation, policy continuity, security conditions, and relations with regional and international partners can all influence confidence in Iraq's economy. A stable political environment may encourage investment and support reforms, while uncertainty can slow progress and increase pressure on the financial system. Because of this, economic analysis of the dinar often includes political developments alongside monetary policy. Some followers of the dinar community use terms such as revaluation, reinstatement, redenomination, and float. These terms are often used interchangeably in online discussions, but they have different meanings in economic policy. A revaluation refers to an official upward adjustment in the value of a currency under a fixed or managed exchange rate system. A redenomination usually means changing the face value of currency notes, such as removing zeros, without necessarily changing the underlying purchasing power. A float refers to a currency whose value is determined more freely by market forces. Understanding these distinctions is important when evaluating claims about the dinar. At this stage, there has been no official confirmation from the Central Bank of Iraq of a revaluation, reinstatement, or specific exchange rate target. Official statements and policies should remain the primary source of information. Rumors, commentary, and speculative forecasts may generate excitement, but they should not be treated as confirmed financial news. Viewers should be especially cautious of claims that promise guaranteed profits, exact exchange rates, or fixed timelines for currency changes. That said, there are legitimate indicators worth monitoring in the coming months. One indicator is whether the gap between the official exchange rate and the parallel market rate narrows. A smaller gap could suggest improved confidence in official banking channels and better management of foreign currency demand. Another indicator is the pace of banking reforms, including electronic payment expansion, compliance measures, and integration with international financial standards. Foreign reserve levels are also important. Rising reserves can strengthen the central bank's ability to manage the exchange rate and support economic stability. Inflation trends, government budget performance, oil revenue, and private sector growth are additional signals that analysts may use to assess the broader economic environment. These indicators can provide evidence of progress, but they do not by themselves confirm a future exchange rate adjustment. For viewers following daily market developments, it may be useful to think in terms of evidence rather than assumptions. Evidence includes official statements, published economic data, central bank reports, reserve figures, inflation statistics, banking reform announcements, and changes in the official or parallel market exchange rates. Assumptions, by contrast, are predictions or interpretations that go beyond what has been officially confirmed. Responsible financial commentary should make that distinction clear. The discussion around the dinar often reflects a broader hope that Iraq's economy will continue to improve. Iraq has significant natural resources, a strategic regional position, and ongoing efforts to modernize its financial system. If reforms succeed, the economy could become more diversified, investment could increase, and confidence in the banking sector could strengthen. These are positive possibilities, but they are part of a long-term economic process, rather than a guaranteed short-term currency event. Investors and viewers should also remember that currency markets can be volatile. Exchange rates respond to domestic policy decisions, global economic conditions, geopolitical developments, and market expectations. Even when reforms are moving in a positive direction, currency appreciation may be gradual, limited, or influenced by factors outside the control of any single policymaker. This is why cautious analysis is more reliable than dramatic predictions. For anyone considering investment decisions related to foreign currency, independent research and professional financial advice are essential. Online commentary can provide perspectives and discussion points, but it should not replace official information or personalized financial guidance. Currency speculation carries risk, and past expectations or community enthusiasm do not guarantee future results. In the weeks ahead, Iraqi dinar followers will likely continue watching for signs of banking reform, exchange rate management, reserve strength, and economic stability. Those are meaningful indicators because they reflect the underlying health of the financial system. However, viewers should avoid assuming that every market movement or policy discussion is evidence of a major revaluation. Careful observation and verified information are the best approach. To summarize, the Iraqi dinar remains a topic of intense interest because Iraq is undergoing economic and financial reforms that could influence confidence in the currency over time. The official exchange rate, the parallel market, banking modernization, foreign reserves, inflation control, oil revenue, and political stability are all important factors to watch. But claims of a guaranteed 1-1 rate, a fixed dollar value, or a specific future float should be treated as speculation, unless confirmed by official authorities. Thank you for joining us for this Iraqi dinar news update. We will continue to follow official announcements, economic data, and reform developments closely. Stay informed, rely on verified sources, and approach currency speculation with caution. This discussion is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice.